All right, welcome back, y'all. First of all, apologies. We had some technical difficulties, you know what I'm saying? so, this is the Locker Room Podcast Talk, man. This is unfiltered, unapologetic, real talk, where everyone is allowed to be themselves, whoever they may be, wherever they may be. Come on, comment, subscribe, tap those buttons, those like buttons, those subscribe buttons. Let us know how you feel. My name is Elijah. I go by TCO, though. Remember that. Only my close friends call me Elijah. TCO, R&B artist. I'm 26. I'm based out of New Jersey. 6 albums in. Tap in if you like good R&B midnight music. Them Tory Lanez vibe and late night Drake vibes. If you like that type of stuff, I'm where you need to be at. You feel me? I have a daughter, my little girl, my little world. You feel me? I am single, respectfully. So, ladies, come talk to your boy. But without further ado, I would like to introduce my partner, my brother from another mother, Varkees. Talk to him. Let him know.
Yes, sir, man. What's going on, y'all, man? It's your boy Varkees Charles, man. 26 years old, from Chicago, Illinois, currently reside in the Chicagoland area. You gotta be specific, bro. They gotta be specific where you at, cause if you from Chicago, they really on you, bro. So anyway, got a background in music. Did that since I was 14. Right now, bit of a hiatus right now. Got background in acting. I've been doing that since 2014. Graduated from NYCDA. After graduation, I ended up moving to Atlanta, Georgia. Did my thing out there. Got casted in a TV show called Collateral Interest. If you have a free time, go ahead and check that out, man. Um, DeAndre Bonds in there. You got Haha Davis, man. Make sure you guys tap in and see your boy. Uh, and aside from that, dip. Well, I'm right now currently into the content creation world. You can find me on all platforms: Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube at Varkees Charles. TikTok videos, daily videos every single day. You can get anything from motivational to something that whatever pops on mind, and if y'all tap into it or relate to it, man, make sure you guys engage. Um, don't have any kids, man. Currently single. Uh, Open, but right now not looking. If that makes sense. So, yeah, I'm just doing my thing. Recently, just restarted life, and my main goal, and to all young men and women out there, make sure y'all get 1% better each and every day. Right now, we are tapping into the Locker Room Talk podcast, man. As my boy said, unfiltered, man, and we're gonna let it rip, man. Let's get into it.
All right, y'all. Today's topic is about modern media.
Mhm.
Generation from love turned to hate.
Mhm.
And we're going to get right into it. I'm just going to say the world is a dangerous place these days, But I'm one that never going to mince words with nobody. If you're here and you got an issue, the door's that way. Literally, the door is that way, guys. You can go. Nobody forcing you to stay. This podcast is for people who want to hear the truth and who want to say the truth. I'm going to respect y'all opinions. All I ask is that you respect mine. And that's how we're going to be, man. So to start it off, man, I just think there's too much going on in the world with social media showing us glitz, glamour, limelight, positives, highs, the highs of the highs, none of the lows, none of the middles, none of the stepping stones, none of the foundation that was built. We don't see anything until these people are supposedly six-figure people, six-figure couples, six-figure entrepreneurs, and then all of a sudden they pop up on social media and everything's happy honky dory. We don't know nothing about these folks' past life, their backstory, nothing. I'm not gonna call no name, but you know what I'm talking about on TikTok. These families that do these couple content, that do these pranks, and they do these things. Some I know because I have a select few people from my past that started doing some of that stuff. That we don't show the people what they need to see. We just let them believe that everything is okay, and what that leads to is a deep depression in most people in the United States of America. I can't speak for the world because I don't live outside the United States of America, but it leads to depression. It leads to comparison, which is, as we know, the thief of joy. It leads to bad things, guys. So that's where I want to start this at, man. How do you feel, Marquise?
I feel like the state of social media, man, is really at a it's really at a pinnacle right now. I think if you're not careful, you're not conscious about what you're consuming, it can definitely consume you. You should definitely take a lot of things you see on, social media platforms via Instagram to be specific. Take that with a grain of salt. I mean, what you see on Instagram is specifically highlights. All right, all highlights. Uh, doesn't really show how that his or her person got there, what he had to do to get there, what they had to sacrifice to get there, and it's not real. It's not real because a lot of people behind closed doors could be going through the most traumatic things that they kind of hide behind it, and the likes and the engagement is an outlet to them, but you got to recognize it's still their story at the end of the day. Now, when it comes to like TikTok or even just YouTube, um, depending on your algorithm, if you're influenced by certain people having a lifestyle. Like for example, me, I jumped into the trucking world, all because of via Instagram. I mean, TikTok. They glorified the trucking industry. I got into the game, did the over the road trucking, and it wasn't for me. I did it for 30 days. Even made a YouTube video about it. Got some heat for it for all the true truckers out there. They called me all kind of names. Soft, man. They called me, everything in the book because they felt like
They did my
that was
boy dirty.
that was a soft move of me. But at the end of the day, like I tried it. I tried it. I mean, I took a risk. You know what I'm saying? I'm in that position where I can do that. I'm young. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, bro. If you're not careful of what you're consuming, bro, it's going to consume you. Take everything with a grain of salt, and especially with relationships, man. Like it's okay to take certain advice from certain people that you see on certain Instagram or TikTok accounts or platforms. I think, but if you live by it, you're putting yourself in a very vulnerable position. And I've even been in that situation before. I've taken certain advice from people on TikTok and I applied it to my life, my relationship, which ultimately, led me down a derailed or dysfunctional relationship. But that's another topic for a different day. But if you're not careful, like it can destroy you and your personal life.
These things, I want us to know these things are all very true, guys. We show the inevitable, which is the finished product. We live in a generation that only wants to see the finished product,
Mm.
whether that be inside and outside of love, relationships with friendships, or anything. It's very rare that you have a select group or find a select person that wants to build and wants to grow. Um, Social media is about finished products. You don't post the drafts and the edits on social media. You don't post the bad pictures on social media. Those are the tries. Those are you trying. You tried this angle, you tried that angle, you tried this job, you tried that job, you tried this career, this hobby, this thing, this person. And you try again, and you never never really post it until you finish those things.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the problem. The finished product is never the best product. The journey is never about the ending. It's about the journey, guys. That's always true. And that's the social media problem. That's the modern media problem. We want everything to come at us done. We don't want to work for whatever. And that's why we see divorce rates are up and relationships are down and suicide rates are up and depression is up, and these things are up because social media shows you the finished product, and we think that that's where it should start when really it doesn't start there. Really it starts even with something as simple as this, getting on the mic and talking about it. And I hope that those of you who out there find a home with the locker room talk and find a place of comfort and peace and a place where you can come here and tell your story. You can discuss your stepping stones and you can bring light to those things. Uh, to the second, which is the big topic, what I can't wait to hit on, the main topic of the show today. The generational transition from love to toxicity. Um, it's a shame. It's a shame that we live in a world where social media plays a factor in this, where we think we have so many options, and women, y'all do, y'all do. But all options ain't good options, guys. All options ain't good options, guys. Same thing for y'all. You know, options have turned us into a toxic bunch of people. When you can get on social media and you can get 1,500,000 followers and
Mm-hmm.
15 million likes and
Mm-hmm.
subscribers and this and that, and half of y'all women out there, if you look good, and you know this, if you look good, you got about 16, 17 DMs coming a day at the minimum from random guys all over the world. Like, not even in just in the United States. You might get brought them from over there in the UK or something DMing you. Like,
Uh-huh.
you never know. So let's talk about this, bro. Let's talk about
Mm.
why has this happened? Why is it more comfortable and more fitting to be toxic than it is just to naturally love? And y'all don't talk shit about me yet. It's that wine. And it's 7 o'clock somewhere, motherfuckers.
Uh, I think the toxicity is displayed more simply because negativity on social media gets more engagement, to say the least. Um, of course, you get those occasional happy videos, little puppy, or you got your husband or somebody's father coming home from war, whatever the case may be. But that's just every now and then. Nowadays you get the Shade Room, got Baller Alert, TMZ posting the biggest headline when it comes to somebody being divorced or somebody like Cardi being Offset, at it again doing something, or um, you got Ari Fletcher and Jada Waiter being accused of getting jiggy with my boy baby out there. Um, but like the negativity things, it gets more publicity and it gets more stunts. I mean more likes and engagement because it's just more, it's profitable. It's profitable. I think the second thing next to the toxicity, if it's not anything positive, is anything sexual. You know what I'm saying? You got people like Sydney Sweeney, you know what I'm saying? The moment she's showing her cleavage, bro, likes, clicks, you know what I'm saying? Or Megan Thee Stallion, maybe she, you know what I'm saying? She throwing that thing backwards and it gets likes and clicks. But back to the toxicity, bro, like negativity is more engagement when it comes to the social media world. And I don't really see it changing anytime soon. But to the second segment regarding, you know, men and women uh, having so much access to each other, or as far as like having options, this is digital world, bro. Like you could literally DM somebody that's in New York and you stay in California. Y'all could set plays up. Y'all can gain emotional rapport and link up with each other, or not, you know. But everybody has access to each other, and it wasn't like that back in the day. I mean, I'm only 26. I don't know what the dating world was uh, 20 years ago. You know what I'm saying? But I think that's the biggest problem. Like a lot of people want to shoot their shot in DMs rather than go out somewhere and actually talk to a woman, actually talk to a man. And just feel like it's more easy to just slide somebody DM or even go on dating apps where I don't know the numbers are, but I know for men, most men, it takes like I don't know how many swipes for someone to get like a like back from someone. But you go to, and I've seen it firsthand. You can see a woman's dating app and it's just filled with guys, bro. Instant likes. They can easily just
Thousands,
swipe,
thousands,
swipe, instantly like.
thousands,
You know what I'm saying? I've seen it way back in my college days. I had a
thousands.
homegirl. She had it like that. You know what I'm saying? It's just the game's kind of it's. I don't know why it's like that. But some guys may
Nah, that
experience
shit rigged.
it is rigged, but some guys might experience what women are experiencing, depending on your status, your looks, and things of that nature. So yeah, it's just how the game. That's how the cookie crumble, man. As of right now.
I think toxicity, while negative, brings out the best in humans these days, and that's the issue.
Mm.
It's no longer you can love and nurture someone to their full potential. It's
Mm-hmm.
you make them hate you so much they want to be everything that you hate. That's very much where things stem from. If somebody tell a person's more likely to go out and do something if you tell them they can't do it rather than I believe in you.
Mm.
That's most of it because I've seen it firsthand. It's just we talk about it, I go back to not for nothing the fact that I do have a child these days. And now, if you tell your little child, that, "Hey man, don't pick up that over there," they gonna pick that up. Like, cause why you tell them to don't do it? Now they feel like they can't do it. Nah, I'm gonna go do it. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Instead of being like, oh, eat your vegetables, eat your vegetables, eat your vegetables. Man, I don't want no motherfucking vegetables. What you talking about? Some vegetables, bro. Give me that French fry over there. What's wrong with you?
See?
It's the same thing within love, man. Same thing, man. Most of us feel like being toxic is how we keep them. We hear women, sorry, women, say that, hey, you gotta be a little crazy, you gotta be a little toxic. Don't no guy want no boring girl, no lot of this and that. And realistically, what we want is boring, and that's why toxicity is so prevalent in our generation now, and love is so gone because love is boring. Real love is boring, guys. Real peace is boring. It's boring sitting in a room with your significant other and y'all just doing y'all own thing. Y'all love each other. Y'all support each other, but y'all just sitting in the room doing y'all own thing,
Mm-hmm.
chasing y'all dreams, chasing y'all careers, paying the bills, just clocking in, paying the bills, making sure everything done. Y'all not taking no trips to Barbados and Turks and Cakes, and you can't show your ass on the yacht with the rich motherfuckers, bro. You can't do none of that. So I get it, but I don't get it because you should want that peace. You should want that happiness. Thriving in chaos isn't always the best thing, but what do I know? It stems from I've dealt with many females, to say the least, and I understand the levels of y'all don't want peace these days. Men, for what it's worth, y'all don't want no peace either. So I can't really talk about it. I know, even for me, sometimes I don't want peace. Sometimes that toxicity from a woman naturally is something you're attracted to because you like, oh, it's spicy, it's this and that. When in reality, after 3 weeks, you're like, all right, the shit getting old now. Like, calm down, calm down. Uh, why do we feel like there's no such thing as? Obviously, it's out there,
Mm-hmm.
but in my defense, I feel like why do we feel like when did this start? When did it start? Did it start with social media? Did it start with women? Did it start with men? Who did it start with? Why did it start?
What particularly? What you mean? Or what started the toxicity, or just
Why
women?
why do we start not loving anymore? What made it
Mm,
wrong? You got these narratives today where if a motherfucker buy a flower or open a door or you just too fuck what like this narrative where motherfuckers is too nice. You heard that. We heard that everybody, guys, if you are a stand up man, a stand up brother, you feel me? You've heard the saying that you too nice. Where does these things stem from? What is too nice?
to answer that part, as far as being the nice guy, everybody heard the saying, "Nice guys finish last," and I'm a firm believer in that. At some point, regardless of even, I'm not gonna say regardless of your come up, because everybody has a different upbringing, but I think once you witness that the nice guy always finish last, men tend to being the jerk or the asshole, for lack of better words, to the
You
women,
are completely right.
and apparently that's what they want, so to speak. Me personally, I wouldn't take that route. Um, I am. If I had to categorize myself, I'm not the nice guy. I'm the kind guy because a kind guy is still going to treat you with respect. It's still going to be the leader. It's still going to tell you the truth. It's going to call. He's going to call you out when you're wrong. It's gonna tell you the things that you don't want to hear. Okay, but the nice guy is gonna be catering. You know what I'm saying? Always going to tell you what you want to hear. He's always going to put you on the utmost pedestal. And I'm not saying you shouldn't put your woman on a pedestal, but at the same time,
I'm saying don't do it. Don't you do it, fellas. If you're out there, don't
at
do it.
least
Don't do it.
to a degree. Okay, I don't want to put them on a back burner. If you on it, especially if you're married, don't put your woman on the back burner. But if you're dating,
Don't
you
get
know what I'm saying,
married.
you got multiple women there. Okay, yes, don't put no woman on the back burner, bro, because she has options, and each of those options they cater to a certain needs. But don't be a nice guy. Be a kind guy. Don't be the jerk. Don't do that. Don't do that. It leads you to nowhere. But that's just my experience though. Like I say, go for the kind guy route. But as far as like where does the love like dissipate, bro? I don't know, man. It goes back to the illusion of options, man. Because the moment you having a problem with your girl or your girl having a problem with you, bro, it's like, okay, that's cool. I got this dude right here waiting on me. He begging me to, you know what I'm saying, give him some attention or things of that nature. So
Oh,
everybody's
they
just
love that one when you're in an argument. They love that one right there. I got
everybody's
so
so.
many niggas that's out here ready to do this and that.
And the
Girl,
thing
shut
about
up.
that is, bro, they don't, bro. That dude that she talking about,
Girl, shut
he
up.
don't want her heart, bro. He want her. You know what I'm saying? He wants between the legs, bro. He don't want.
Man, we unfiltered, we unapologetic.
You
These
know what
niggas
I'm
want to
saying?
fuck.
Exactly. So
Like,
that
let's
narrative,
be real.
that narrative is I don't know. It goes back to as far as love being gone, it tends back to the illusion of options. Everybody is just quote unquote replaceable, and honestly, that statement is completely false. Everybody has their own individuality. Nobody that you ever date in your lifetime is gonna be the same. They might have the same uh I don't know, certain actions, but everybody has a different heart. Everybody has a different brain. Everybody has a different upbringing, which tends to be how they are in a relationship. So yeah.
I mean, I completely agree with a lot of the things that my brother has said over there. I think, mind you, man, a little backstory, little side quest for me, real quick. Uh, I'm a singer. Most of y'all who know me, if you know me, you heard me, you know me from Atlantic City, and if you know me, you don't really know me, and just act like you don't know me. But uh, I'm out. I do the club scene, the party scene. The vast majority of my life, I will be out there. If anybody's out there watching from Atlantic City, I'll let y'all tonight. You know what I'm saying? Coming there to do my job. You feel me?
This guy.
But I've been in this life for a long time, and I've seen men and I've seen women. I've seen the transition, bro. And I'm not here to brag on myself. I'm a good looking man, and I sound very good. Ladies, come fuck with your boy. But I've seen girls and women and wives and girlfriends come in the building, looking me up and down, giving me stares. Why with they men there, with they men not there? You know, I've been approached by women who were wives, and I didn't know about it at the time. You feel me? I didn't find out till after everything was
Yeah.
done. But nah, type shit. But listen, it's it shouldn't be like this
Hmm.
for anyone. You know, them men that be at home for these women probably are great guys. You know, probably love them, probably out busting their ass while they busting it down for somebody else right now. And that's a shame. Where did we get this from? And that's so toxic. So so this. Where? How do we get back to ladies and fellas? You know, I don't know who's single, who's not, who's having successful marriages, but how do we get back to our aunties and papas and grandmas and titis and this and that, where they had these marriages that were 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 years? How do we make the vows mean something again to death do us part?
It's, they dying off, bro. They dying off. I mean, we about to be 30 in a couple years, bro. The people,
Chill,
the
chill. Not too much. Not too
I'm not.
much.
I'm
I'm
just
still
being
young.
realistic. I'm being realistic. So every day and every year, you know, all our aunties and uncles, granddaddies, mamas, daddies, like they getting older. You know what I'm saying? And they not living on forever. Um, I think I think it just boils down to that. And you got a lot of the new generation parents, if they're not taught that, and if whoever they looked up to was gone early, they just gonna do what they know or see somebody else do, via online. You know what I'm saying? They don't have nobody to turn to. You know what I'm saying? They auntie gone, they uncle gone, they mama gone, they daddy gone. So who gonna tell them or show them the ropes? And now they just, whether being a bad parent or even being a bad partner for their partner or their spouse, it's just, it tends to our leaders just being either just deceased or I don't know, they just don't have that in their corner, in their um they don't have anybody to go to, man. It just boils down to that, bro. In my opinion.
Ah, man, I could go on forever about these vows, man. Death do us part in sicknesses and health. Um, but how do we get back? We eliminate the need to jump ship when things are going wrong. We eliminate the need to feel like any burden is a burden. That may not make sense to many, but what I mean by that is if we've always we all seen the clip, and if you haven't seen the clip, it is what it is. Travis Kelce, before he gets with Taylor Swift, uh, is dating this woman. No, I do not know said woman's name. She is a beautiful woman. I won't knock her for that. But she and Travis apparently don't work out because she doesn't want to go 50-50 on anything.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We feel as a society in 2026 that we can still live in past ways. We want traditional things without being traditional people.
Mm-hmm.
And that is both men and women. But women, I ain't here to bash y'all, but it's a lot on y'all to be honest. You can't say you don't want to cook, you don't want to clean, you don't want to be at the house, you don't want to wear this, you don't want to wear that, and then come back and spin the block and also say you want a motherfucker to pay 100% of the bills for you. Like, you can't say you want a leader and you don't know how to follow. Man, you can't say you want to lead and you can't lead yourself. How you gonna lead your household?
Right.
You can't say you want a wife and you're not ready to be a husband. You can't say you want kids and you're not ready to be a parent. You can't say you want to build and you ain't ready to pick up the tools. Hey, and that's where we get back to the vows. That's how the vows come back. When people start to figure out that we need to build and it's time to pick up tools. But instead of picking up tools, now we have AI. Motherfuckers don't even know how to talk to a woman no more. And listen, I ain't the smoothest motherfucker in the world, y'all. I ain't gonna lie. But, like, we got mugs out here using AIs to put in their Tinder bios and
That's
send
the thing.
messages back. And bro, we
Man,
just doing stuff.
it's it's gotten to a point. I was listening to a podcast, man. Not to be off topic, but it's a woman out there. She's married and she's having I guess, an artificial affair with her husband. She created this AI, and I guess whenever her husband isn't like emotionally available, she tends to go to the AI she created, and they just have these emotional connections. You know what I'm saying? And it's gotten bad. Um, how, I don't know. I mean, you're talking to literally a computer. It's not a human, and it reminds me of the movie Her. I never seen the movie though, but I know the dude fell in love with like he fell in love with an inanimate object. You know what I'm saying? So we in 2026, man. It's only just the beginning. We got these sex toys out there they can do probably anything you wanted to do. For the lonely men out there, they probably, that's all they got. If they ain't getting no action in real life, man, they tend to do that. And that's just the pleasuring part. Ain't even just the love, but yeah, it's wicked, bro. It's wicked, man.
Yeah, you're not lying, and just to kind of not diverge off of the topic too much, but you said something that's big that people aren't, and I'm going to steer away from men. I'm just going to steer to the generation as a whole
Mm-hmm.
to say that people not getting the attention that they want causes a lot of these problems too.
Mm-hmm.
And people all going after the same person kind of causes this problem too. You know, you
What you
mentioned
mean?
something earlier about little baby. Like we have this. I mean, I
Uh,
saw. I don't know. It was kind of like a statistic online about little baby has been with Arya Fletcher, who has been with Herb, who has been with
Moneybag Yo.
Offset and Moneybag Yo, and Ruby Rose been with everybody, and India Love been with everybody, and everybody just been with everybody. You know, it's like it's 100,000 million billion
It's a reason
people on
behind
this
that though.
earth, and we all just want to we just dipping and dabbling in the same thing, and it don't matter. And a lot of the toxic shit comes from this, guys. It don't matter how toxic you are if you got that money. If you look good, I promise you, and that keeps toxicity alive. It keeps it alive and well. Not for nothing, I want to say I want to be the first person. Hey man, shout out my boy Chris Brown. You know what I'm saying? Hey, one of the R&B pioneers. I love you to death. I love your music. I love what you do. You have changed your life so much, and you are not the same person you used to be. I don't want this message to be misinterpreted, but the same women that bash men who abuse women are the same women will turn around and praise Chris Brown. Praise him up and down, tooth and nail. And that's just one of the many prime examples of the messages are too mixed in society. It is okay for a certain demographic to do a certain amount of things, and it's not okay for a certain demographic to do a certain amount of things. If your name isn't Chris Brown and you hit a woman, you should never hit women. By the way, guys, you are all bitch made if you do
Absolutely.
that. You should never hit women. But if you're a man named Chris Brown or like Chris Brown and you do it, then women may turn the other cheek. They may think a different way. But if you a broke boy working a 9 to 5 and you work at McDonald's down the street on the corner of 55 and you making 15 cents, $15 an hour, and you decide to do the same thing, now you should be going to jail. You should do this. You should do that. You should do that. You should go to hell. Somebody should kill you. This, that, and the third. That's the issue.
Mm.
I don't think that's right. I think what's fair is fair, what's right is right, and we got to call it by the books. And if a 6-figure, 7-figure guy does something and a 0-figure guy does something, they should be treated equally. But in today's society, we know that is not the case. In today's society, we know that will not change. I just think that is part of the problem. That goes back to the vows and this and that because things aren't equal on either standard. You know, I think women have too many options, which leads to men's trust issues, which causes more toxicity, which causes more hate, which causes more friction. Women utilizing those options and throwing those options in the faces of men leads to toxicity, leads to broken vows, leads to different things. And the fact that it is, I think, universally known that no matter who you are and how good you are to your woman or your man or whoever it may be, they already know who the next person is. They already know who the next person is. That person may be a friend, it could be a coworker, it could be someone online that they may have access to. It could be some guy that may have DM'd her and she read the message but never said anything. But she's like, if anything ever goes wrong, I'm coming back to him. Say that's a problem. It's not that. See, back in the day, TT and them didn't have that back in the day. You know, she was going through something with Papa and them. You know, they had to thug it out in the house, live in the same house. You know, she wasn't really coming out the house then. You know, they wasn't working. You know, I'm not saying it should be like that. I'm not saying time should be like that. I'm just saying that caused more people to be forced to work things out and stay together. Instead, now when the slightest thing goes wrong, understand that a lot of these problems in modern and social media and with generational love turning into toxicity stems off the perception of happiness and what we do to be happy. And we think happiness is the end all be all, when in reality happiness leads to nothing. Happiness leads to nothing. Is the goal should not be to be happy in anything, because I mean I'm on here with my brother right now. You know what I'm saying? We ain't always happy with each other. Like, man, he said some shit sometimes that'll piss me off. Like, he be doing it. We If y'all don't know us, here's a little backstory on us. We go to work. We be on the phone most of the time, half of the time, bullshitting, just talking about random ass shit, quite frankly. And we sometimes, like, he may be finished his work before I'm finished my work, and this motherfucker want to joke, and I'm sitting here, I'm in a bad mood. I done worked a 10-hour shift, nigga, and this nigga just finished his last store, and he ride back to the station, man, and he kid and ha ha ha, and he got jokes this and that, and I'm like, bro, shut the hell up, bro. I still got like 18, 25, 30 more stops to go, bro. Like, I got 3 more bags of this shit to do, bro. Get back, bro. Like, that's not funny. Or vice versa. I have a sweet route. Somebody came and rescued me, and I ain't got but like
Bail.
6 more stops.
Bail
Six
out.
more stops to go, and he still got like 3 stores, and I'm kiki ha ha. He said, bro, I'm not even in the mood, bro. I'm not. It's like, everything ain't about happiness, because in friendships and relationships and life, you're not always happy. You go to that job, and the job is not for you to be happy. You're not supposed to go to work and be happy all the time. I'm sorry, man. It doesn't motherfucking matter what you doing. I know you have some people that have this perception, that which goes back to one of our topics. Social media is helping create this perception that these people are going to work and being happy. Man, I don't care what you do or how much money you making, you're not happy. You think these singers and these artists and these actors and these musicians, whoever they are, making hundreds of millions of dollars, you think they happy they can't step out of their house without having to sign an autograph or taking a picture? They can't go on a date if they're single without the tabloids putting it all on social media, or they can't have a divorce and just be peaceful about it. They can't, mess up as a parent and have the ability to mess up as a parent without it being all over the news and this and that and the third. They can't do these things. You think that's happy? That's not happy. No matter how much money you make, no matter who you are. You think in a relationship you're supposed to be happy. You're not supposed to always be happy. You're supposed to work things out, because everything ain't about happiness. I'm pretty sure there's wives out here that have been married for 25 years, and you tell me if they've been happy for all 25 years? Hell no. Hell no, you ain't been happy for 25 years. There was a time you was pissed off for 2 weeks, and you just pushed through. You just like, I love you enough to make this work. I'm not happy with you right now. Parents, if you're parents, you're not always going to be happy with your kids. Your kids going to go out and do some of the dumbest stuff in the world and piss you the hell off. But you love them. They your kids, bro. It's not about happiness. And I think talking through this helped us figure out that may be the key. Everybody think they just supposed to be happy when they wake up every day, 24/7. Supposed to be a happy person. What you say, man?
First one, might want to put your mic near your mouth again. Cause you went down when you started.
Yeah, my fault.
Yeah. You said happiness doesn't really lead to anything. I wouldn't say it wouldn't lead to anything, but I think happiness leads to contentment. Because it's always temporary. For example, if you, and I'm doing like a baby example, some minuscule. If you buy a new pair of shoes you've always wanted, you're just happy for that moment of time. Okay, you got the shoes, you obtained the shoes. Okay, the next day you're not as happy anymore. That happiness is temporary. You're content with them. Okay, now if you have some type of stewardship, you'll definitely make sure you maintain the shoes, or to the best that you can, or just put them up somewhere to admire them. Depending what kind of the guy you are. But happiness definitely leads to contentment. You are happy in certain moments of your life. You are upset of certain moments in your life, but emotions change, feelings change. But I think they all lead to contentment. But I think if you go down a rabbit hole of unhappiness or being unsatisfied of your situation, whether it's in a relationship or a marriage, I think that's when the contentment goes out the door, because they're not willing to work it out. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, like, there's no relationship in a world in human history where the man or woman is like 100% happy. You know what I'm saying? I mean, some people aren't Um, some people aren't raised in a two parent household, and they not able to witness that growing up as a child, so they might not even know what that is. You know what I'm saying? Their aunts and aunties may not have been together, to even see another example from, their parents' sibling, or their grandparents. Their granddaddy might have passed away, early, and you wasn't able to see grandma and grandpa marriage and things of that nature. So some people just don't know. They don't know. But that doesn't mean that someone who has grew up in a two parent household, because don't get me wrong, like, it's people out there that grew up in a two parent household, bro, and they get in these marriages and relationships, bro, and it's just they treat it like they never been in a relationship before, or they never had like an example of what a marriage should be. Now, I'm not saying you should base your marriage or relationship off your parents. I mean, me personally, I wouldn't do that, based on my experiences, because that's their marriage, that's um, their chemistry, that's their dynamic, and I want something of my own. But it boils down to me personally. I think, like, if someone isn't exposed to that, they tend to probably do ignorant things, and that's why, like, if you're not happy, they tend to go towards that route with they saying, forget contentment. I'm not happy. I'm gone. You know what I'm saying? So I think happiness doesn't lead to anything. It leads to contentment. And if you focus on contentment, I think eventually, you gotta keep pushing, bro. You gotta keep pushing.
That's a fact. All of that is very factual. Very factual. I think the lack of happiness and people leaving causes a lot of stress. I think that breaks people a lot of the time. I think it breaks humanity. It's broken humanity because
Mm-hmm.
we feel this need to be perfect. We feel this need to be superheroes in everyday life where we can't, for example, I know we both, if another little thing about us, we both really don't like our jobs, y'all. It's really, F them people. But uh, we're not happy doing those jobs. We get up and do those every day because we need to do those. We need to make that money. We need to be there. We need to provide for ourselves. Or, in my case, I have a kid. I got a mother of my child that requires money. You know, and we have to get these things done. We can't just say we're not happy. We want to go leave without an option, without a plan, without sticking it out, and not for nothing. There shouldn't be an option. It's paying the bills, and if until something from the grace of God falls down and it's a blessing, you should stay there. I'm not saying by no means should you stay in situations with friends or with family or with loved ones or with significant others in which you're not happy in. I'm just saying that you should probably take a back step before you just leave. I think people are just so quick to leave, men, women, everyone. Are just quick to leave situations, jobs, and people behind because they're not happy. I've heard so many women to just be like, "Oh, I'm not happy. I'm just gonna go leave." When it's not. It was never about happiness. It was never about happiness. You agreed to build something with me, and building is not something that's happy. We can go to the start of this podcast today. I know you were happy that your sister wasn't acting right earlier, but it's about building something. We can't always depend on our happiness to help see us through. Because if happiness is the key that gets us out of bed, we may never get out of bed.
Boy, think he's spitting. It's that wine talking.
I was spitting there. I had to take my sip. Right there, y'all. I was spitting right there. But all right, man. I think that's all I have on the topic. I hope everybody enjoy. If my partner, my co-host, ain't got nothing to say, we gonna wrap this episode up with I love you. I respect everybody who came out. We had like 3-4 listeners. It's a start. I know y'all out there. I know who you are. I want to say thank you guys for tapping in. I want to say I love each and every one of you. Many blessings to you and your families. I hope you took something from this. Share this with your people. Share this with your friends. Share this with your family. This is the Locker Room Podcast with the Chosen One and Varkees Charles, unapologetic and unfiltered. This is where you hear the real stuff, the real life, and we tell it to you how it is. Don't worry, we got big things in store from you, from special guests to special topics to music drops. You guys will be some of the first one to hear some of the new music off of the new project, The Lone Wolf, dropping February 28th. Yeah, you heard me. February 28th, Red Receipts is going to be out. My birthday coming around the corner in 2 weeks. We got some special clips from y'all from the birthday appearance from Varkey's in Jersey. The gang is linking up. Everybody is turning up for a few days. I hope we have fun. We're going to win some money, and we're going to do it big, man. Everybody out there have a blessed night from myself, and I'll let my boy say his goodbye, and y'all know what to do.
And man, like you said, man, this just the first stepping stone, man. Just the tip of the iceberg. We got a lot of content, a lot of topics to cover. You just give us a little time. We're still learning the little tweaks. We're still learning the game. We're just trying to get our feet wet. And once we get established and we get fit into our lane, man, it's go time, bro. It's only up from here. And I like to always end my videos, whatever it is, particularly my YouTube, man, for something a little bit more inspiring, man. If they can do it, so can you. Achieving greatness awaits. We out.
Yes, sir. Peace out.